Hi everyone, Jared here with Day Traders FX. I hope you guys are having a great week. We've had some wonderful pips this week so far, some nice profits and trades. Let's talk about them. Just a little reminder, here's the website, daytradersfx.com. You can come here and get a free trial to the group. It's a 5-day trial, and you can get a little bit of a point of view and a look at what we do and how we do it. And we'd love to have you join us for a couple of days. Okay, let's have a look at how the U.S. markets have behaved. It's just been wild swings day after day. We've had huge up days and huge down days this week so far, and today has been a down day. 138 pips down on the Dow, 23 down on S&P. Gold's down a bit, not a ton. Oil's down a little bit again. And so on. So it's just, tomorrow could be that update. You never know. We haven't had too much big news today. We did have the meeting minutes out of the UK, and we had the claimant count, the unemployment numbers, and unemployment and personal income and so on is getting a little bit worse in the UK right now, and that really caused a big move down on the pound dollar, and we'll look at that in just a couple of moments. Coming into tomorrow, so we have no more major news today. Coming into tomorrow, we have retail sales tonight on the pound dollar. That's going to be at 1:30 a.m. Pacific time, and then 5:30 a.m. bright and early we have unemployment claims, and then we have the Philly Fed index tomorrow morning as well. Both decent movers, so we should see some good activity coming out of those. Okay, let's have a look at this euro dollar. Now, if the euro dollar is any indication of what the rest of the market's been doing, we have two options, and I guess we always have two options, buy or sell. And the euro dollar is kind of interesting. Like I've said a couple of times before, I'm trying to be very sensitive to when that big pre-summer push is going to start. And it is going to start at some point in the near future here. The big question is, is this the start of the big pre-summer movement? Was that the start? Are we not there yet? And so, and if you're not familiar with the pre-summer movement that I refer to, it's just that big move that we typically see kind of April, May into June, and then things kind of flatten out a little bit in the middle of the summer. So euro dollar, a couple of things to point out and look at here. We have a couple of nice targets down here. If we look at the 4-hour chart real quick, we have a missed daily pivot all the way down here at 128.75. We have a missed weekly pivot down here at about, it's more about 129.40, I guess. And so we have some definite downside targets, some big downside targets that could be attracting the euro down to these points. But here's the situation. The euro dollar has really run around and bumped around and so on. Had this big decline. This is a huge bearish candle, and we see this nice move down. But then it's kind of failing to make a close below some of this key support. It's testing the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. It's testing the 200 moving average again on the daily chart. We want to see it, we ultimately want to see it close below this to really kind of get bearish. We need to see it close below the 200-day moving average on the daily and 4-hour charts, and we're just not seeing that yet. So here's a couple of things that I'm going to be looking for in the euro dollar. It may be a good opportunity to start getting long against these lows, about 35 pips here. That might be a good opportunity, and I'm definitely not straying away from that. Here's what I'm personally going to wait for. In this run right here, this is a significant enough run from the high to the low. We're looking at, it's not huge, but we're looking at about 200 pips basically on the dot. If we make a break above this 23% fib, this is just one of my fib trades right here, and I'm gonna go for it. Our couple of options here are going to be just enter somewhere around current market price, somewhere around 130.50, and get long and buy this thing up into some of these upper targets, 130, 100, and so on. That's not a bad option. I'd maybe like to see it get a little bit lower, maybe 130.25, 130.30, somewhere in there. Excuse me, it's at 130.35 right now. I think I said 50, but somewhere a little bit lower, 20.25, so we can have a bit of a tighter stop against this low. Might not be a bad option to buy up here. But what I will personally be waiting for is a break above the 23% fib, which is basically, it's a pip or so away from 130.50. It's about 130.49. So I'm going to be looking for the market to get above 130, I'll say 50, 130.50. And I'm just going to target about 130.75, 130.80. Just right up into this weekly pivot, up into this 38% fib. I'm just looking for a little trade there. And if it ends up, running fairly nice, maybe we just lock in a little bit of profit and try to trail it up and see if we can get some more run out of it. But I think we just have a nice little easy trade from the 23 to 38% there. Again, it's 25, 30 pips, just a little run. And ultimately, I think we should be getting short euro dollar. That's kind of where I'm looking to take things, but it's really been so choppy and so directionless lately. It's still completely, up in the air on what direction it should be going. But anyways, long explanation. Ultimately, we're trading against this low. If we wait till we get above the 23% fib, we can trade into that 38% fib at around 130.75.80. That's kind of what I'm looking for now, and I'm keeping my eye out for some closes below these levels, below the 200-day moving average, so we can start making a run into that missed weekly pivot and missed daily pivot. But we've got to get some closes below, and right now I'm going to be trading probably a short-term bounce up. Okay, pound dollar, we're already in the pound dollar. This was a trade from the daily wrap-up session, so I did not include this in the daily video yesterday because this was left for the members of the trading group. What we did is we got short in the pound dollar at 153.65, and we were trading against this high right here, so we had our stops up here. You can see that that's gone pretty well. So we're sitting in just a little over, right around 120 pips profit. It's been pretty up today, about 150 pips up. The pound dollar is not showing us too many signs that it might be coming back. The only thing that I would be a tiny bit nervous about is a little possible reversal candle that might give us a little bit of a push higher here. And I think all that will do is cause a little bit of reversal, a little bit of bounce up. But so far we've closed below this 200 moving average here. We're well below the 200 moving average on the daily chart, and we're now below it on the 4-hour chart. So I think we have a good chance to still press lower. Now, again, as long as we stay above this low right here, there's a little bit of potential for this thing to push a bit higher. But what I'm ultimately looking for, what I would like to see, is I want to add to my position that I'm already in. I want to put some more pips in there. So I'm going to be looking at kind of this 152.60.70 area. And, ultimately if this starts to break back above, say like 152.90, somewhere in there, I'm probably going to look at closing my my pound dollar short up here, and and that'll still be 60, 70 pips profit, but I'll probably close it if we get above about 152.90, but somewhere in this area, I want to see how the market behaves with this. If it powers through it, I'm not going to put a pending order. If we just plow right through this area, then we'll wait and kind of see how things go. But I'd like to start shorting, or to short it a little bit more around this area, around 152.60.70, and maybe even 80, and just keep a close eye on that and make sure it can stay below 152.90. And then our targets remain the same. We have this missed daily pivot down here at 151.60, about 65 actually, and we have some big targets down here around 148.70 and so on. So everything looks pretty good and pretty bearish on the pound dollar, and I think it should be able to continue. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, and we'll look to short against some of that resistance there. Aussie dollar is kind of a question mark in my mind, so to speak. It's been coming down nicely, but we're still kind of in this channel. There's still a lot of choppiness, a lot of things going on there that make it just not the clearest entry in my brain. We have a bit of a hammer right here and a double bottom, and so it's short term, slightly bullish for the moment. And so what I do like, what I think we have a good opportunity with, is trading against this low. Right here we have this low, which is around 102.75. So I kind of like the opportunity of trading against 102.75. Having stops around 102.70, so we can just be a couple pips below that low, and looking for entries around 103.00, 102.95. And looking to buy up into around 103.50, 60, right around there. I think we've got a good 50, 60 pip potential. So again, I'm looking to buy against this low, stops around 102.70, entry probably about 102.95. So tight, 25 pip stops on this, and I'm looking to target about 103.50 on this Aussie dollar. And honestly, I just have no idea what it might be up to beyond that. So I'm just going really short term there. So that's what I'm looking for in all three of these pairs. We'll keep an eye on some of these other setups on yen and so on. There's some good things happening there, but I think we have some really nice setups on the pound dollar, euro dollar, and Aussie dollar coming up. So best of luck. I'll see you guys in the chat for the daily wrap-up session. Take care, everyone.